Imposter syndrome is something I have struggled with my entire career as an entrepreneur, 16 years and counting. And I have really developed some mindset shifts that has helped me to not eliminate it, but be able to deal with it better. So today's episode of this podcast, I wanted to share those thoughts with you and walk you through my journey with imposter syndrome and when that mindset shift happened. Hello, I'm Kwame Kwade. Welcome to the Entrepreneur Brand, the podcast about personal branding, entrepreneurship, and mindset. So, imposter syndrome, when you are in a room of entrepreneurs, you're going to hear it. It doesn't take a lot of discussions for you to peel the onion and realize that most entrepreneurs face imposter syndrome, and it's something that we have to deal with. And for me, my journey started right away because I started achieving success early in my entrepreneurial career right after I started. I started my first business in 2008. 2009, I was on Shark Tank season 1. And that was a big moment, a very career-changing experience for me, being on national television, being seen by millions of people across the country. The idea that I founded in my basement, just trying to build a business that I believed in, all of a sudden in front of millions of people and all the excitement, the euphoria that came with it. And then I thought that was going to be the crowning moment when I began to feel good about myself, began to feel like, okay, I know what I'm doing, I belong, I have what it takes. But no, I did not do it. And then I started shifting my mindset to, okay, maybe if I hit specific revenue milestones, that's going to do it. So if I hit $1 million in revenue, only 4% of businesses in the United States actually hit $1 million in revenue. Yes, you heard that right. 4% of businesses hit $1 million and above. So I thought, okay, if I did that, then I'm part of an elite club, and then that should make me feel that, okay, I've arrived, I belong, I have what it takes, that I'm not a fraud. That didn't do it. How about 5? How about $10 million in revenue? How about 12? How about $15 million? All those milestones did not change the fact that any given moment, it doesn't take a lot for me to start feeling that, okay, everybody's going to find out I'm a fraud, that I'm not really, that knowledgeable about what I'm doing, that this is all a house of cards that is going to start falling apart, that it's a one-hit wonder. I don't know. There were always these negative thoughts that would consume me. And it didn't get better when I met entrepreneurs, even entrepreneurs that were less successful in terms of, revenue or accomplishments that I am. It didn't get any better. So then I thought maybe accolades were going to do it. Outside validation, recognition that I'm going to get for the success that I've achieved will make me feel like, okay, finally, I have arrived. So getting into the Inc. 5000 was a big deal. So the first year, that I really went for it, I got into the Inc. 500. So my business was part of the 500 fastest growing companies, private companies in the United States. That should be a crowning moment. And I didn't do it. And then I made it to the Inc. 5000 3 years in a row after that. So I was in the Inc. magazine list for 4 years in a row. That did not change the feeling. And then, at the time, the Baltimore Business Journal named me as 40 under 40 in Baltimore. Well, that did not do it. And then I feel the biggest crowning moment, the biggest validation that I got as an entrepreneur was when I got the EY Entrepreneur of the Year award. That was I think is the pinnacle of entrepreneurial awards. There is nothing above that, really, in terms of like entrepreneurial award and recognition. There's nothing out there above that. So I thought, okay, that is going to do it. And it didn't. I kept feeling this thing that I don't belong, that I am not enough, that I am a fraud, that everybody's going to find out. And that feeling keeps, and the reason why it keeps coming is that when you're an entrepreneur, you know that you're going to go through seasons of ups and downs. And so when you go through the down seasons, the down cycles, that is when the chatter in your mind go into overdrive. And so I realized that, okay, I have accomplished and checked all the boxes that I can possibly check to make me feel good, whether it's the revenue milestones, whether it is, accolades and recognition and accomplishments, peer recognition. All these things did not change it. And so what started to shift for me was when I joined Entrepreneurs Organization, EO. This is a peer-to-peer organization. It's a global organization of entrepreneurs for entrepreneurs. I've been in it as I'm recording today. This month will be my 10th year being part of that organization. And joining EO 10 years ago was the beginning of that journey of dealing with imposter syndrome around the right people. Because first of all, I'm surrounded with other multi-million-dollar revenue generating business people. And so I'm in the right room around the right people. But then I started to realize that it doesn't take a lot for you to realize that most entrepreneurs deal with imposter syndrome. So that made me begin to start shifting my mindset about it, but also learning the tools to be able to deal with it. That defining myself by my business, by the accolades, by how well the business was doing was a dangerous path, because then if it wasn't doing as well as I thought, then I started to feel worse about myself. And then I also started to learn that imposter syndrome does not go away. You just learn to deal with it and push through in spite of. So one of the breakthrough moments, and this also happened through an EO conference that I attended, the breakthrough moment that I had was when I don't remember who was speaking, but I went to a conference and the speaker was talking about the fact that the only way to really push imposter syndrome to the background and take charge of your mind and be able to free yourself from it to the extent that you can function and function confidently is to focus on service. Who are you serving? Who are you here to serve? Who has God placed you here to serve? And how well are you serving those people? Because imposter syndrome, in a way, is a selfish feeling, because you are looking at yourself and thinking about you and how you're feeling versus the people that are out there who could benefit from your knowledge, your experience, your expertise, and your story. There are people, we are all qualified today to help who we used to be, who we were before. So by shifting your focus on serving the people that God has placed on your heart to serve and serving them to the best of your ability, it helps you deal with that imposter syndrome, because you have evidence. You're impacting people's lives. You're helping them get to where they are trying to go. And so the focus is not about you and how you're feeling about where you are trying to go, but the validation is coming from, the evidence is coming from you working with other people, the people who need your voice, who are waiting for a voice like yours, are waiting for an experience share like yours, are waiting for a story like yours, for them to then make the right moves, to then go for their dreams, to then achieve their dreams, to get to where they are trying to go in. If you are pouring into their lives, whether it's the career you've chosen, whether it is a passion project, whatever it is, if you are serving the people you're here to serve, that helps you deal with imposter syndrome, because service in itself then helps you push that chatter in your mind back and take control of it. It doesn't go away completely. So that is how I have come to deal with imposter syndrome. So during moments, especially during down cycles in business where I'm starting to feel the chatter like I'm a fraud, oh, everybody's going to find, okay, let me focus the attention on how can I serve my audience better? What else can I do that could change their lives for the better? And when I shift the focus to that, I'm able to deal with whatever negative mindset, negative feeling that I have in my mind. So essentially what I'm saying is this: if you have imposter syndrome, the best way to deal with it is to shift your energy and focus it on the people you're here to serve. Serve them to the best of your ability. provide them value, because your voice, your experience, your story, your expertise, there is somebody else that is out there that is waiting for it, and it could change their lives. And if you do that and you serve them to the best of your ability, you will fight any imposter syndrome that you're experiencing. I hope this helps somebody today.